Got a challenge for the 12s today. Our frenemies over at the San Francisco 49ers report, Jay Sr. and company, they were talking some smack and said, Tyler, you guys haven't got 1,000 likes on a single video for the entire month of May. The most you've had is 853. We just had a video with 1,000 likes yesterday. The 12s, they're not up for it. They cannot answer the call. And I said, Chase, we will prove you wrong and show why we have the best fans in the NFC West and in the National Football League. And I'm going to do my part to make sure all of you hit that like button. Let's get at least 1,000 likes today. We got to get about 147 more than our most liked video of 853. Hit that like button. We'll get started with today's show. Glad to have you with us here on Seattle Seahawks today. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. John Schneider, the Seattle Seahawks general manager. This week he went on the Rich Eisen Show, which is nationally syndicated on radio, also seen on the Roku channel. Rich Eisen, he's one of my personal favorites. He's done a really good job with NFL Network over the years. And Schneider talked about a number of different topics in regards to this Seahawks team entering 2025. We're going to share with you our takeaways from what Schneider had to say. Let's start with looking back at the DK Metcalf trade. And although there was a lot of discussion at the time revolving around the financial and money situation with DK Metcalf wanting to get paid, according to Schneider in this interview with Rich Eisen, the heart of the trade request from DK Metcalf actually did not have to do anything with money, that it was all about getting DK a change of scenery. Here's more from Schneider, what he had to say. It really wasn't about a big contract. It was interesting because it wasn't like animosity either. He really, really wanted a fresh start. It's not like we went into the offseason thinking this would be a possibility, but he was pretty dug in on it. I ended up working out for both clubs, worked out for us and worked out for Pittsburgh, and we wish him the best. He's a great guy and obviously a high-end competitor. Bottom line, the way I view this, folks, is pretty simple. I want guys that want to be here. You're either with us or you're against us. And the moment that DK Metcalf was checked out, there was no looking back. And we've heard reports since that this wasn't the first trade request that he had put in with the Seahawks organization over the years, that this has occurred multiple times. And let's be real, it was an ugly divorce. This was not pretty how this was handled at all. DK putting in the trade request just within minutes of Tyler Lockett getting released on a day that they were honoring and recognizing Tyler Lockett for his great career in Seattle. And now you fast forward, and I think that all things considered, with DK wanting the money that it would have taken, I think Seattle was willing to pay that money based on what Schneider was saying. But that would have delivered quite a blow to the structure of this team when it comes to trying to get younger and build for the future. It would have created some problems potentially. So with that, you move on from DK. You get the second-round pick. You unload that contract. And all things considered, with DK not wanting to be here and with Seattle getting to move on and get something out of him, granted, I have said this before, I think if they were going to move on from DK, they should have done it years ago when they could have gotten more than just a second-round pick. But at the end of the day, it all worked out for everybody. And we move on, and that's okay. So let's ask you. Your chance to answer our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ads play and get your votes in. Do you like how the DK Metcalf trade worked out for Seattle? Got two options here. Type Y for yes, in for no. Way in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Number two, from the John Schneider interview on the Rich Eisen Show, he talked about his new franchise quarterback, Sam Darnold, coming over from the Minnesota Vikings, as he has high hopes and expectations for Darnold at the quarterback position entering 2025. And one of the things that was fascinating to read into this, in particular, he focuses on what we've seen with the coaches that he's worked with lately and how that connects back to what Seattle is doing. Here's what Schneider explained. You can see the progress getting with Kyle Shanahan and those guys in San Francisco, and where Kevin O'Connell and his group took it last year. He just keeps making really cool progress every year, and to have an established system in place that he's played in and is comfortable with is a big deal. Great human, great competitor, been a great leader so far. The thing I've said with Sam Darnold is that I am of the belief that he was always that guy, that he was always a good quarterback in this league and should be much better than what his numbers and what his resume displays. But the problem was that Sam Darnold was a victim of bad circumstances, whether it was with the New York Jets, who were a dumpster fire and did not do him any favors when it came to the roster around him or the coaching staff. And the same can be said with the Carolina Panthers. Now you look at, he goes to San Francisco, then goes to Minnesota, and he's worked with Clint Kubiak, and he knows this scheme already. The question becomes, can he deliver? And I believe he can, because this time, much like what we saw in Minnesota, I believe with the coaching staff he has now to work with and the talent around him, he is set up to succeed. I put it kind of like this. Any of my NASCAR fans out there, remember the name Jeff Burton, driver of the number 31 singular car, RCR Racing. Jeff Burton, you give him good equipment, Jeff Burton could go out there and win races. But if you didn't give Jeff Burton the best equipment, then you weren't going to see great results. And I think you just look at Sam Darnold, he's a Jeff Burton type, where if things are lining up, he will capitalize and he can deliver and take advantage of it. And the things are setting up for him where he can have that Jeff Burton run with the Seattle Seahawks here. Do you believe in Sam Darnold? Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in our comment and let us know if you think you believe in Sam Darnold or not. Seahawks Today is bringing you the best Seahawks coverage around with our daily news and rumors. We're doing live shows each and every Monday and Wednesday. We have our breaking news, Q&A mailbags, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day here on the channel. Look, I know it's the offseason, but there is no offseason here on Seahawks Today. We are rocking and rolling each and every day here on the channel. I want to make sure you're a part of it so you don't miss out on our continuing coverage. Best part about it, doesn't cost you a thing. Absolute 100% free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Number 3 on our takeaways from John Schneider. He talked about the quarterback situation, and it can sound a bit awkward, right, when you think about how things went this offseason of moving on from Geno Smith, and then you bring in Sam Darnold. You trade Sam Howell. You draft Jalen Milroe. You sign Drew Lock. What's the messaging? Are you catching anybody off guard here? Is everybody on the same page? Well, according to John Schneider, they made Sam Darnold well aware that they could draft a quarterback, which ultimately they did. More from Schneider. Mike Macdonald let him know, like, hey, this isn't about you. This is about acquiring an impact player, in our opinion. Where does the quarterback stuff go? We don't know how fast. So Mike talked to Sam. I was able to communicate with Drew. And obviously we were communicating with Sam Howell all throughout the weekend as well. Darnold shouldn't feel threatened at all by Sam Darnold at this point in time. Or by Jalen Milroe, rather. Darnold should not feel threatened by Jalen Milroe. And the reason why I say this is because Milroe's got a lot of work to do. When it comes to accuracy and developing as an NFL quarterback, he's not ready right now. And that's okay. We're not asking him to be ready. He is an asset, and there are ways that you can still use him within this offense without him being the starting quarterback. We've already heard rumblings about some packages being created for him, whether it's in the Wildcat or short yardage, tush push, whatever it may be. There will be a role for Jalen Milroe. He's too good not to get on the football field in some capacity. But here's the deal. It's strength in numbers, right? I talk about this all the time. You want strength in numbers. And that's what Jalen Milroe is bringing you behind Sam Darnold here. What if, God forbid, something happens to Sam Darnold and he gets hurt? Well, now you turn things over to Jalen Milroe and you potentially give him a shot and you see what you got. What if Sam Darnold does struggle? Which I don't think is going to happen, but what if he does? Then you go to Jalen Milroe and you give him a chance and see what he's got potentially if he's the right option. It's like making sure when you buy your lottery tickets, you play as many odds as you can, as many chances you can get to get that thing right. And that's what Seattle's doing here. Who's the QB of the future for Seattle? Is it Sam Darnold or is it Jalen Milroe? I think it's a fascinating question on the minds of 12s everywhere. If you think it's Darnold, type SD for Sam Darnold. If you think it's Jalen Milroe, type JM for Jalen Milroe. Weigh in and tell us what you think. Speaking of Jalen Milroe, we have rookie jerseys on sale now at chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies. Milroe, Gray Zabel, among others. We got their jersey with their number on it. You can go see for yourself at chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies. All the rookies are there. And we also have other Seahawks jerseys for your liking as well. Maybe Sam Darnold or Cooper Kupp, whoever it may be. Go to that same link. You can get your jerseys at chatsports.com/Seahawks rookies. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Get yours today. The last thing that John Schneider talked about was Cooper Kupp. And one topic of discussion about Cooper Kupp, which I think is a legit, fair concern, is his health status. He had that fantastic season in 2021 where he won the Triple Crown. But every year since, he's been productive, but he has been banged up. And typically speaking, that does not get better with age. But one of the things Schneider pointed to when asked about this injury concern is that he has confidence in Kupp's game speed. Listen to this from Schneider. When you watch the film, there was some durability questions there. But when you watch the film, the game speed, quite honestly, is the same. And he's very confident in the way he takes care of his body. And I think Seattle can do Cooper Kupp here a lot of favors with kind of an NBA idea of load management here. Okay? Let me tell you what I mean by this. Cooper Kupp, as a veteran in this league, I don't need him to practice every single day. I don't need him to overwork himself too much. If he needs a day off in training camp or sometime during the middle of the week, that's okay with me. I think that you need to do what you can to make sure he's available not just in September and October, but when it matters in December and in January. That's the make or break time. That's what's the most important thing. Look, you can win games in the fall months, but you win championships based on what you do in December, January, and February. And I think if you're the Seattle Seahawks, that needs to be your focus here. Is we got to do what we can to protect Cooper Kupp and make life easy on him as much as possible. Because if he is healthy, he will be an impact player on this team, and you are taking a risk with the money that you're paying him. It is not cheap, the contract that he's getting now from Seattle, but it's got to be worth your while, and it doesn't do you any favors if he's not in the football field and isn't around. So that's what I would do if I'm Seattle, is just be very careful. Make sure you do what you can to have him when it counts the most. Here's another thing, too. I want to make this abundantly clear. He isn't replacing DK Metcalf. All right? They play the position in totally different ways. I know that it's kind of easy to point to thinking, hey, DK's gone. We just brought another big-name receiver here. No. They play the game totally different here. I think that we need to kind of get that out of people's heads for a moment. Cooper Kupp, I'm excited about what he has to offer. Coming over from the LA Rams. He is a local kid, of course. This is going to be a different element he brings. And as long as he stays healthy, I have every reason to think that he's going to be successful and be a good fit for the Seattle Seahawks offense in 2025. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Seahawks Today. If you enjoyed today's show, you want to prove the 49ers report wrong, all you got to do is hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We shall see you next time right here on Seattle Seahawks Today.